The late Afrobeat legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti once coined the term democracy to describe what Africa often practices as a version of Western democracy. The continent has seen leaders who, rather than upholding democratic principles, have become synonymous with altering constitutions, suppressing free speech, and politically enslaving their own people to perpetuate their power. This video shines a spotlight on two infamous African leaders, Paul Biya of Cameroon and Paul Kagame of Rwanda, known for their extended rule and questionable democratic practices. Paul Biya, Cameroon's current president, has been in power since 1983. His reign, now stretching over 4 decades, is marked with tales of manipulated elections, constitutional amendments, and the establishment of a dominant party system. A reign characterized by absolute loyalty to him, intimidation of his opponents, and a tight grasp over all branches of government. Biya's presidency has seen the erosion of democratic principles replaced by a system that serves his political longevity. From being the sole candidate in the 1984 and 1988 elections to the controversial multi-party elections of 1992, Biya has maintained a firm grip on power. Constitutional amendments in 1996, 2004, and 2008 focused on extending presidential terms, allowing him to contest and win re-elections in 2011 and 2018 elections that were marred by allegations of irregularities and suppression of the opposition. Despite inheriting a prosperous Cameroon, Biya's tenure has been marred by economic mismanagement, favoritism towards allies, torturing and intimidation of his opponents, weakening political opposition, checkmate of the regular army by the establishment of the Rapid Intervention Battalion, a highly trained military commando unit, and strict control over all branches of government, including the judiciary, and the creation of a political class loyal to him. As his mandate nears its end in 2025, questions abound about his health, his potential candidacy, and the notion of a monarchical democracy perpetuated by passing the torch to his son Frank Biya. Moving to Rwanda, where Paul Kagame has been the president since 2000. Hailed for transforming a war-torn nation into a united front, Kagame's legacy is not without its controversies. A constitutional change in 2015, purportedly to sustain economic development, paves the way for him to rule until 2034. Despite the economic strides, Rwanda under Kagame has seen stifled free speech, suppressed dissent, and quashed political opposition. In Kagame's Rwanda, opposing the government is a risky venture. The regime leans more towards authoritarianism than democracy, and fear of the president is the order of the day. His intention to run for re-election in 2024 after 2 decades in power echoes the sit-tight attitude prevalent among some African leaders. The sit-tight syndrome of leaders like Biya and Kagame is a significant hindrance to Africa's progress. It undermines democratic principles, stifles the emergence of new leaders, and fosters a culture of political entrenchment. It is crucial for Africans, particularly the youth, to challenge such practices and champion a new generation of leaders who embody democratic values. In conclusion, the stories of Paul Biya and Paul Kagame serve as stark reminders of the challenges facing democracy in Africa. They underscore the need for political transformation, the importance of upholding democratic principles, and the urgency of fostering a new generation of leaders committed to genuine democratic governance. The time for change is now. Africa must rise to the occasion.